this edition of Let's Talk About It. We have three awesome guests lined up. They're all entrepreneurs. We have a professional baker, we have a life coach, and also an insurance broker. You guys want to stay tuned. It's going to be a great show. All right, we'll see you in just a moment on Let's Talk About It. Hello and welcome to this edition of Let's Talk About It, where my wonderful guest today is Miss Heather Davis. We're actually highlighting some businesses here in the Houston area, and Heather has a wonderful business called Sweet Luxuries, which keeps weight on me. Heather, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Ferrell, for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Heather, we're going to get right into it. Now, you make the most amazing desserts and pastries and things. What inspired you to get your business started?
Wow. I would have to go back to my childhood.
Okay.
I'd have to go many, many years ago. My mom and I, we would bake cookies Christmas time, and I just fell in love with the art of baking. And
okay.
It just, I mean, that's what keeps me going.
Is that so? One thing led to another.
One thing led to another, taking lots of trips all over and visiting different bakeries, and had a moment in New Orleans where, you know, in the French Quarters, it's all about the pralines. So when I came back to Houston, it was I made it my business to find a recipe, and that's how I got started.
Is that right? Now, I also understand that you had a career prior to your baking success. Now, you were a former school teacher, is that right?
That's right. I taught second grade for 9 years, and actually the bakery it was birthed through my experience as a teacher. I would bake for my coworkers, and they actually began to pay me for my bakery, for my baked goods.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what, I may have something here. So that's where the bakery started from.
Okay, and obviously she has something, because now she has Sweet Luxuries, which I order on a regular basis. And you know what I like a lot? The lemon, what do you call it?
Luscious lemon bars.
Luscious lemon bars. The luscious lemon bars keep me in trouble. All right? And so I'm like working out extra hard at the gym now because of Heather. And I think I ordered some maybe like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
I actually sat, I'm embarrassed to tell y'all, but I'm going to be real. I actually sat and ate the whole box the same day and felt guilty. So it's your fault.
It's my fault. But you have no idea how many times I hear that story. It's so amazing. You know, my family, they inspire me. But
that's good.
Just a few weeks ago, we had a family gathering, and I bought lemon bars to the function. And when they knew that the lemon bars had arrived, everyone like rushed into the kitchen, and they were just licking their fingers. And then the last thing I saw was my aunt. She had a box, and she was just holding them really tight. She said, "These are mine. These are the last 3." So I hear this story so often.
And you know what? I understand why your aunt does that, because when I get your lemon bars, I actually want to hold on to them myself. But me being the unselfish person that I am, I try to share them, you know, and let other people know how wonderful they are. But the reason why I share them is not only because I enjoy them and I want other people to enjoy them, but I want them to know about Heather. Because Heather does amazing work. Not only is the work amazing, but it's so detailed. Like when she gives you the box, it's wrapped in a bow. It has the card. It's very professionally put together. You can tell that time and thought and effort goes into what you do.
Thank you.
Yeah, you present yourself very well.
Thank you, Ferrell.
So yeah, you absolutely. So Heather, where do you see Sweet Luxuries in the future?
I see Sweet Luxuries in the hands of many, many people, not only here in Houston, but all over the country. I have a special talent, and I want to share it with the world. My family knows about it, my friends know about it, but now I'd like to share it with as many people as possible.
I think that's fantastic. So you're actually looking to open a bakery, I think you were telling me before, right? Possibly?
I am. I have a lot of ideas. I even considered a food truck at one point.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But a storefront, I think, would be the most feasible thing right now.
Yeah. I think that's fantastic. Now, I know you look at other people that are doing the same thing. Is there anybody particular that's doing what you do that you actually admire and basically mirror yourself after in some way?
Of course, of course. There is a bakery in Philadelphia.
Okay.
And I think that they're doing some wonderful things. And, you know, I would love to eventually do what they're doing.
Is that right? So tell me a little bit more about what they're doing.
They have a wonderful menu, and the whole premises, the whole idea behind their bakery was designed behind the owner's grandmother.
Okay.
And the menu is just beautiful. They offer an array of sweets, and I can see that for Sweet Luxuries.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. Now, over the last, I guess maybe 5 years or so, this cupcake craze has just taken off. It's like everybody's doing cupcakes. What is that something that you're doing as well? Are you thinking about?
Oh yes, we offer. Right now, we offer two cupcakes, and of course, all of our ingredients are made with natural ingredients. We don't
Okay.
add anything artificial, and it's all just yummy goodness. Things that you remember your mother or your grandmother
Right.
making. We don't add anything artificial, so we do offer two cupcakes right now: a strawberry cupcake and red velvet.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, you know what? I look forward to having the sweet luxury of trying one of those one day.
I like how you use that as an adjective. Oh no, a verb.
A verb.
That's cool.
All right, a true school teacher. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think I've tried a lot of your products, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I've tried the cupcakes yet.
Well, we'll have to make that happen.
We'll have to make that happen. Okay, y'all heard that, right?
We'll make it happen.
All right. So when y'all see me 10 more, 10 more pounds bigger now. But yeah, that's good. That's good. Now, once you get I know we talked about the lemon bars and doing some different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Artistically, where do you see your work going? From an artistic perspective, because I notice you're very creative with your work.
Yes, I am very creative with my work, and each thing that I prepare, it is an art. Food is an art. You're expressing yourself through this art, through the art form of baking.
Mm-hmm.
Artistically, I, gosh,
That's a
Pharaoh.
good. No, but you know what? And you know, it's funny because when you ask that question, a lot of times people get kind of puzzled. But actually,
Yeah,
Heather's
good
work is like
question.
art in itself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you look at her work, it's like art in itself. It's like you just put this together. We were getting ready to show the cookies, right? And so Heather goes through the box, and I go, "Oh, let's take one off the top." She said, "Oh no, it doesn't look cute enough." I'm like, "It's a cookie, girl. It's a cookie. I'm about to devour it in 5 minutes." But she's so passionate about her work and the presentation of it. She was kind of nervous about me just taking out what she thought was a regular looking cookie. I thought it looked great. You could see the chips, you could see the nuts, you could see the oatmeal, whatever you use it. It was good to me. But she's so passionate about her work that even showing it in a way that she don't think is like the most flattering, she'll back up from it. Heather, thanks so much for joining me today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me, Pharaoh.
And the world knows so much more about your products. The will know more about your products after the show today. And I am so tempted. I'm sorry, y'all. I have to. I think I'm ready to go to heaven now.
Oh, boy. That's the best compliment. Thank you.
Heather, thanks so much for joining us. This is simply delicious. We'll see you guys next time, okay? And actually, we're going to be right back with more entrepreneurs in just a moment, so stay tuned. Hello and welcome to this edition of Let's Talk About It with my wonderful guest today is Khatira. Khatira was a medical doctor, actually, and she's made some transition in her life, and she's no longer, well, you're still a medical doctor, but you're not practicing that, right?
Yes, true.
Okay. Give me a little bit of your history.
Sure. First of all, thank you for having me over here.
Absolutely.
I am so excited. And absolutely, I'm originally from Azerbaijan, Baku, formerly known Soviet Union. So by trade, I'm a medical doctor.
Okay.
I practice as a pediatrician, and I had the specialty as a pulmonologist and tuberculosis specialist in my country.
Is that right?
Yes.
Wow, what an interesting career. Now, from what I've understood, basically reading your bio information, you've transitioned from medical doctor to...
Wow. Well, from medical doctor to the actual wellness coach.
Wellness coach,
Yes.
okay.
And on the side, I had my massage therapy business as well.
Okay, so one of the many trades.
Yes. Well, what I believe in a health and helping people to feel better, look better, and being good and true to their own body.
Okay.
It's my passion. So, since going back to medical, pursuing my medical degree and
Yes.
proven in the United States, it was a little challenge with two toddlers.
Okay.
I took different route,
Okay,
which
okay.
is entrepreneurship.
Right. Now, I know there was something that, in reading your bio information, there was something that happened or took place that made you transition from one thing to the next.
Yes. Well, about 19 years ago, I gave away my I gave up my medical practice, so I
Okay.
came here and I was, stay home taking care of
The
my
kids.
little kids. Yes.
Yeah.
And life sometimes takes the turn that you don't expect, you don't plan for it.
Right.
And it's happened to me. I did not expect it, but happened. And I had a choice to stay, be miserable, and show my kids what is the life about it, or just take a stand for myself for who I am and being true to myself and, breaking the chain and allowing my kids to see they can stand up for themselves too.
I think that's wonderful. And a lot
Yeah.
of times in life, when different things take place in our lives, it forces us to go a different direction.
Absolutely.
And we have to be okay with that direction. And we have to trust that direction. And I always call that God's gentle nudging. A lot of times God just gently nudges us into other directions because a lot of times if we're operating in our own self, we won't make the moves that we're supposed to make. So a lot of times things have to happen to shake us up a little bit to make the transitions that we need to make. So obviously that's what you've done.
Yes, yes.
Which leads me to my next thing, which is the next profession that you've chosen, which happens to be life coaching,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, my self-discovery, it started about 13, 14 years ago.
Okay.
And this is my journey when it started, journey to the life coaching. And I would not say it's a journey to the life coaching, it's a journey to acknowledging and accepting who I was and just allow myself to be that,
Okay.
to give other people the gift that,
Okay.
they have to see it and be it.
Right. Right.
So yeah, and I started coaching as I was having my business on the side.
Mm-hmm.
I started coaching as a volunteer for the company. That is a self-growth company in Houston.
Okay.
And for about 8-9 years,
Mm-hmm.
I did the coaching. I loved it, loved it, loved it.
Yeah.
Because what I learned few years back, very wise man told me, God designed the path for us
Mm-hmm.
to get from one direction to another one easily, smoothly. Life has to be joyful.
Yes.
Where as a human beings, what do? We go, oh, let me try this one, let me try this one. We go zigzag, zigzag. So that's it's true for everybody. So for me as well. And it got to the point I cannot ignore that. I cannot resist to what God is keep telling me.
Right. You have to move forward now.
Absolutely. Now it takes just a trust and moving forward.
I think that's fantastic. So tell me this, Khatira. What's one of the biggest challenges when you're actually coaching somebody to better their lives? What's one of the biggest challenges that you face?
Oh, that I want to tell them what it is,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't because they have to see it for themselves. My
Okay.
purpose here is guiding them, and I have the incredible ability to ask the right questions.
Okay.
I don't design them; it just come up, arises as I'm speaking with you, the client,
Mm-hmm.
and it's in the moment, everything in the moment, and there is no one question is the same to another one.
Wow.
So once they get what they really want,
Uh-huh.
they got it.
Okay.
But the challenge is to just like holding it and so like, oh, let me just give it to you.
Right, right. Because you want to take control when you know that
Oh, yeah.
when you're armed with the information that you're armed with, you want to take control, but they have to see those things for themselves.
Yeah, and the thing is sometimes you want for somebody so much,
Yes.
then they can see that,
Mm-hmm.
and you can push away if you do that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
they have to see it and they have to get there themselves, but I'm here to guide them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you basically help them reach their destiny
Absolutely, yes.
through the gift that you have.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm
Wow.
thankful to God for that.
What a wonderful gift to have. And not only that, but it's a big responsibility as well.
I would say that's a mission that I have.
Okay.
Responsibility to me is nobody Nobody, neither me, would take a responsibility for anybody. I'm responsible for my own life.
Mm.
But what I can do, I have the mission, I have the gift to take you from where you are to where you want to go with ease and grace. It's a challenge. I did it. You can do it too.
Wow. And you know what? I'm so glad you said that. I always want to encourage, inspire, and motivate people on this show. And I think you're doing a great job of that today. Yes. So tell me, what's next for you?
Wow. Next, well, I'm launching a brand new website right now, and not
Okay.
right now, it's already launched.
Okay.
And I developed this amazing program. I call Yourself. And self stands for soul, express, and live freely. So your soul, express, and live freely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Soul expressing life freely. Self.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, okay. And so we're going to make sure that our studio audience, of course, get more information before the show's over with to find out a little bit more about this amazing life coach, Khatira. And we certainly thank you for joining us. And we have so much more to talk about on this show. We have another business entrepreneur that's going to come up in just a moment. And you're going to learn a little bit more about insurance as well. So we're going to get more information to you on this wonderful guest, Khatira, and her life coaching skills and abilities and talents and all that good stuff before the show ends. Until next time, we'll see you then. Hello and welcome back to this edition of Let's Talk About It with my wonderful guest,
I'm Lurlin Boyd.
Lurlin Boyd. Lurlin is an insurance, not only agent,
That's right.
but the president of.
The Lurlin S. Boyd Agency. It's an insurance agency, and we established it in 1999. So I come from a long list of other insurance professions. And at this point, what I decided in 1999 is that I have always loved insurance, understood it. I understood that most people found insurance to be very boring. And it is. But I liked it because I thought that part of what I could do is just engage people in conversations, help them to understand how insurance works.
Is that right? Okay. You know, there are so many changes happening with insurance. It's like every time I turn around, there's a different change as it relates to insurance. And I want to ask you, because this is your field, this is what you do, you're the expert. How do you feel about the changes that President Obama has made as far as the requirement of health insurance?
I think it's very important. I'm a business owner as well, and I think that it's very important that people have the money that they can use through insurance. Insurance is what I engage as insurance is that you pay an insurance company a small amount of money, and in return, their promise is that when you need them, which is long, very big health insurance costs, that they're there to give you back what they promised to do in the first place, which is pay for you to have the best health insurance. And hospitals cost, and if there is no money to pay the bill, I had a nephew, for instance,
Okay.
and I talked to him and talked to him and talked to him about getting health insurance. And although it was very affordable, he chose not to. And what happened is, he's on his motorcycle, which of course he has found the money to buy the motorcycle, but not pay the insurance. He's presented that night, he has an accident, falls off his motorcycle. He's presented with a $30,000 health insurance bill.
Wow.
This is only like about 3 months earlier that I was trying to talk him into paying $77 for the policy. So insurance is very important. To me, it's a transfer of risk. It's a transfer of someone else is going to step in and pay you bill. So when I talk about insurance, part of it is trying to make people realize that insurance is there to save or to help you protect your assets. Your assets are the money that you make. If I'm a young man and I choose not to pay a small amount for health insurance, but yet I encounter a very large bill, which is health care,
$30,000.
replacing
Well, you know what?
an auto, then that's not necessarily the wisest financial decision I can make.
I think what happens is a lot of times we're hoping that nothing happens. It's like we're taking that risk, believing that nothing will happen, and as a result of that, we go another day, and we go another day, and we go another day, we go another day, and nothing's happening. So, oh, okay, good, I'm okay. When in fact, accidents is what the insurance is all about, and it's scary when you don't have insurance. I've been on both sides of the fence. I'm just going to tell the truth. It is what it is. Where I've had it, and then when I hadn't had it. And the times that I haven't had it, I'm like, ooh, Lord, I hope nothing happens.
That's
You know,
right.
that fear sets in. You know, and you just have to be careful at all times. Now, tell me this. Now, we're kind of jumping a little bit on this here. I've heard of people who have had like what is it, insurance for burial
That's right.
and things like that they've paid on all their lives. And when it comes time for the burial, they realize I only have $5,000, and I've paid out $20,000 over the year. Help me to understand that a little bit better, if you will, as briefly as you can for me.
Well, one of the things that you should do with your insurance expert, which is an agent,
Mhm.
is to meet with them. Your needs are always changing. Perhaps when you bought that $5,000 policy for your burial, maybe funerals were $5,000. Now there are $20,000.
Exactly.
So how, you can pay a little bit at a time, or you can try to make sure that whenever that problem arises, that you have that saved in the bank. More than likely, because life is a little bit complicated, we may make money, annual salaries, but we probably have so many bills that we're paying. We're paying our house note, we're paying our car note.
Yeah.
So that money is not available. Insurance is sort of like that savings account. We're giving that money to the insurance company so that when that big, complicated
Right.
loss occurs, like a death of a person, like a loss of a car, like my home burnt down, that I can go to that insurance company, and because I have made these small deposits,
Right.
the insurance company has the ability to write that big check. And I don't have to worry about looking at my savings account and say, gee,
Yeah,
I
let's put a
only
big
have
dent
this.
in my
Yeah,
account.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a transfer for us.
Okay. Okay.
Plus, you also have to understand that insurance people, there's claims people that must be paid. It's not like the insurance company gets the money and it's sitting on it.
Okay.
It has to pay these other experts to help you at these different points, be it the underwriter to make sure that your information is correct,
Right.
that the right type of rate is charged, the claim rep that has to go out there, look at your car, talk to you about what it is that they will do,
Okay.
can do, and even legal fees.
Right.
Because don't forget, we live in a society whereby if you're wrong in any way, other
Everybody
attorneys-
want to sue you.
everyone wants to sue you. So insurance companies also have to be prepared to handle all the expenses that come along with that you bought this insurance policy.
Okay. Okay. Tell me this: how does one find a good insurance agency or a good
You talk
insurance
to other
agent?
people. I think if your agent is accessible, if they write with a big company that is financially sound,
Okay.
so that there is the ability to handle your crisis.
Okay.
Because that's basically when you're coming back to the insurance company.
Right.
I paid you my money, but now I have a crisis. I need you to do what it is that you said you would take care of.
As my agent, right. Right.
As my agent. So I find that my biggest compliment to what I do is when people refer other people to me. In fact, most of my business is based on referrals.
Okay. Now, I also noticed too when I was reading your information, you actually have a license in Louisiana as well as Texas.
That's right.
Okay. Now, help me to understand that.
Well, I'm born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana, and
Something told me that she was born and raised in New Orleans.
I'm very
Something about
proud
that
of
accent, y'all.
So I write insurance in Louisiana.
Okay.
And believe me, a lot of Texas people somewhere, even if they don't themselves weren't raised in Louisiana, they were raised somehow in Louisiana. So our borders are very close.
Okay. Is there a big difference in insurance between Louisiana and Texas? Or the same policy and everything applies?
Insurance is written state by state.
Okay.
So there are limit differences, but most times what you will find is that the company, when you cross into the Louisiana border or when you cross into Oklahoma, that policy on the auto side usually has an adjustment.
Really?
So that whatever is required in that specific state, you are then covered for those mandated coverages.
Is that right? Okay.
That's right.
Okay. Okay. We're getting a lot of good information out of you today, huh?
I hope so.
You know what? I want you to just address the audience for a second and maybe give them information that they may not have as an agent. What kind of advice would you just give my listening audience?
I would advise your audience to sit down and have a conversation about who they are, what they are. And I would invite them to, I would say that they need to do this on a regular basis. And it is
Okay.
because your life is changing. The kids are grown. That's a different kind of need. You're hopefully making more money. That's a different kind of need.
Okay.
You have to understand that not only do you need to change your insurance to protect your assets, but again, part of your responsibility is if you become liable for someone else's damages, someone else's injuries, you need to make sure that from a financial responsibility that you have the right limits to protect you in case you're either, you may not even be responsible. You just need to make sure that your insurance policy will legally protect you even if they say you're wrong. Sometimes you're not wrong. Sometimes you
Okay.
just need a policy that will help you with your legal fees.
Right.
So to have a discussion with a insurance
All right. I
professional.
hope you guys enjoyed this segment of Let's Talk About It just as much as I did. Hope you learned something, maybe been inspired or motivated in some kind of way. For more information on the show and my guests, make sure you email us at Let's Talk About It 12tv@gmail.com. That's Let's Talk About It 12tv@gmail.com. Until next time, we'll see you then.